Okay, so it seems like we have a little bit of an update on the whole Giga VShojo situation. Now, if you don't know, Giga is actually set to leave VShojo today on the 27th of June, and essentially this is something that has been apparently kind of thought about for a little while, and she goes on to explain, there's a lot of different factors to it, but one of the main ones was due to the fact of, she just was doing a lot of the work. VShojo were taking quite a bit of the cut of the money for how much work she was doing by herself. So she didn't, see that it was very kind of viable to keep it going, which honestly I think is okay. And obviously, a lot of people have been very supportive, but it seems like this has actually landed her in some hot water with some other people. And it seems like some people have been attacking her, mainly over this stuff. And it's kind of crazy because obviously it's only, her leaving. It's not really that big of a deal, but obviously they tweeted just the other day saying another round of attention, another round of weirdos saying they wish my cancer had killed me. Classic. Now, obviously, I never knew this about Giga, by the way. I never knew about any of the cancer stuff. I didn't know that they actually went through that. But obviously, yeah, it's kind of crazy that people were actually wishing that upon her. And it's kind of disgusting to see how some people in the VTubing community can do that and, will actually go that far as to send kind of stuff like that to a person who's already been through obviously quite a bit. Now, obviously, Sayu is there, saying, first off, screw them. Secondly, I'm glad you're here and alive. Thirdly, screw cancer. And fourthly, screw those people. You're great. Which, again, yeah, obviously, a lot of people have been commenting on this, including Armalie saying, oh my God, what, and again, people have been very supportive on this post, which I'm glad to see. And obviously, Zentreya saying, stay safe, geeks, sending lots of love, Gary saying, Spite saying that's disgusting. People are foul. And yeah, it is very disgusting. And it's, kind of sad to see that some people have stooped that low, especially over something as trivial as someone leaving a VTuber agency. It's not that big of a deal. Giga obviously is still going to keep their IP. Giga is still going to keep doing what they were doing. Nothing is pretty much changing apart from the fact that they're, leaving VShojo as, the company on like the kind of contract side. But I'm sure they'll still interact with a lot of the members and things like that. And I don't think things are changing that much to the point where, weirdos can go ahead and attack her just for leaving something, which I think is so weird. Now, obviously, this has also been brought up over in r/virtual YouTubers, and I was very confused at why this harassment was even there in the first place. And I looked at some of the comments, and it seems like a lot of people are pointing this towards Nijisanji fans. I'm not sure how true that is, and what the kind of past she's had with Nijisanji, and why they would hate her for that. But obviously, yeah, they said Giga has responded to another round of harassment a day before her exit from VShojo. And obviously, they say in reply, sometimes I have intrusive thoughts like you're not a good person, you're selfish, you're probably a psychopath. And then I read stuff like this and realize that I cannot fathom saying anything like this to someone, and I realize I'm not that bad at all. What the hell, people? And obviously, yeah, they say, I think that separates immensely well, and these kind of people that feel the need to share their intrusive thoughts. Yeah. And obviously, yeah, it's very, very weird that this has kind of gone on. Obviously, people said, what has Giga even done to, in quotation marks, justify this harassment? And they said, right when Fulga announced that he was leaving Nijisanji, she made a tweet that said, people who treat VTuber graduations like the streamer died tragically were weird. When she made the announcement that she would be leaving VShojo, sisters have been using that tweet to mock her and her fans, which is one, petty, and two, doesn't even make sense in the context of what her situation is. So again, that's what is leading people to think that this might be Nijisanji fans kind of harassing her due to some past comments she made on a Nijisanji liver. But again, it is just, incredibly weird to do that overall, especially holding this against her. Obviously, he said, frankly, I disagree with her. We know as fans that graduated talents are dying. Obviously, that's a separate kind of conversation. I don't really care what you think about, graduating VTubers or whatever. You still shouldn't be sending threats to people for, this kind of stuff. And it was just kind of unnecessary, There's nothing, that justifies sending threats to anybody. And Giga hasn't even done anything wrong, I don't think. In my opinion, I haven't seen anything that Giga's done wrong. And someone said, when did Giga have cancer? So she talks about it here, which again, apparently they had to get it removed and stuff, which again, I hope they get better from that if they haven't already. They said harassment, which is from the most part is coming from the same fandom that harassed her a few months ago, by the way, Nijisanji fans. So again, it does seem like Nijisanji fans might have some involvement to do with this, which again, classic Nijisanji kind of getting involved in this once again. And obviously we talked about Nijisanji quite a bit on this channel recently with the whole twisty stuff and everything that's gone on with that. Now obviously they said, I've been seeing this popping up, but what the hell, guys? Can't we just have one time where we aren't wishing horrible things on people? Can people not harass Giga for any reason? I swear the intent was a mistake. I said, Niji sisters, enough said. I said, I agree. Most people don't even use the internet what it's actually for, connections and research. These people use the internet to shield how they look to justify hatred and violence, which, yeah, it's kind of crazy. They say, wait, she's even VShojo. Imagine being upset because they left a company that sponsors their anime girl PNG. None of that is that serious. People need a life, which, yeah, definitely sums it up quite nicely there. And it's just kind of ridiculous that people will go to those kind of lengths to kind of harass Giga and to kind of attack her just for leaving VShojo, because that's literally all it is. And obviously, maybe that added thing with Nijisanji has also added an extra layer of kind of harassment towards her way. Now, obviously, as well, we got this FAQ, which she actually posted up on Twitter after her stream. And obviously, she said, are you graduating? Such will you keep streaming? She said, this is not my graduation. I'll be streaming as usual, and I'll still be Giga. I owned my IP before joining, and I'll own it after leaving. All channels will be under my ownership, as they always were. So again, you know, it's going to be very smooth. This is going to be one of those things where it's not one of those, like, you know, graduations or whatever where they go away for months and then they come back as some random indie VTuber. No, Giga is going to keep going, keep streaming, and it's going to be pretty much like normal, except they just won't have the VShojo tag in their name, which I think is kind of hard for a lot of people to understand for some reason. I don't know why. And obviously, yeah, she's not actually graduating, and I think people making fun of her, saying that, oh, you made fun of this person for graduating, when in actual fact she's not graduating. They said, will you still be able to collaborate with VShojo members? Yes, the members are my friends and foremost, so if my friends want to collab with me, we will do so, plain and simple. So again, you know, they will collaborate still, which again is great. So things don't change on that end either. They said, why are you leaving? They said, keep an eye on my YouTube channels for that. I'll be getting a video together soon to keep the info consolidated. Feel free to watch my VOD from today if you don't like waiting. And they said, what happens to your merch? They said, my merch store on VShojo website will be closed down on the 27th. So again, there's not much time left if you do want to get any of that. It'll probably be like a couple of hours. So definitely get your hands on that if you want to, but it seems like they might be releasing some other stuff on their own at some point. So yeah, again, you know, it's a pretty informative little FAQ there, and I'm actually glad to see that, you know, Giga has actually responded to this with a lot of transparency and information, so people don't start speculating. Because again, that's the worst thing to kind of happen to a VTuber whenever they leave a company or graduate from a company or whatever. You know, anything kind of happens with a company, people speculate about what happens. And I think being so like transparent with this, and, you know, having FAQs, having streams, tweeting a lot about it, and not just going silent after like one tweet, I think that's actually really, really helpful for a lot of people. And it has definitely calmed down a lot of the potential, I guess, yeah, rumors and things that could happen behind the scenes whenever it comes to this kind of stuff, because yeah, it does happen. And obviously, you know, one of the bad things, I think the only bad thing that's happened from this is the fact that, yeah, there are some weirdos that are going around and wishing death upon her, which again, obviously is not great at all, and it's terrible, you know. People saying, oh yes, as someone who gets that comment often too, I'm so sorry, it's disgusting, you're a good person, Giga, screw the haters, you know. Ignore the haters. No one should be saying stuff like that to anybody. Keep up the great work, Giga. Don't let anyone bring you down. Never stop being the best. Again, you know, the saying, VTuber Twitter belongs in hell. That's a Quinn Bennett there. I honestly had no idea you had cancer, but I'm glad you're here though. Which again, you know, so many people have been kind of putting in a lot of support for this. So it seems like a lot of people have been, you know, heavily supporting Giga, which is really great to see. And hopefully, you know, these harassers and these people who have been attacking it online kind of, you know, calm down and just kind of move on, because again, it's one of those things where it's not really a big deal. And if you're attacking her for leaving VShojo, then you're just an idiot. I mean, you know, as a lot of the FAQ has said, nothing is changing. And if you're attacking her because of the Nijisanji stuff, you're also an idiot, because, you know, why are you still following Nijisanji? I mean, even following and being a big fan of Nijisanji livers at the moment is a big no-no, I would say. Obviously, the livers aren't that much of a problem themselves, some of them, but obviously, yeah, Nijisanji is a company. If you're supporting a company like that, it's just a bit like, yikes, you know. So I mean, you're already in the wrong there. So I feel like, yeah, it's one of those kind of things where it's very weird, and this just stuff happens sometimes, and it's just like, oh why does this have to happen? You know, it's not good for Giga. It's not good for any of the VTubers that get harassed and attacked in the community, and it just ends up making things way worse than it could have been, because this could have been a very smooth and happy transition. Obviously, Giga actually followed up saying today was a good day, so I think they're feeling a little bit better after, you know, this is all kind of settled a little bit. But again, you know, hopefully things do get even better in the future. But yeah, if you guys enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. Also, let me know down in the comments what you guys think about this, because again, it's a very interesting situation. I definitely want to know what you guys think about it, because yeah, you know, just let me know. And yeah, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, go to Game Subs, use my code Kaza, get 10% off. Again, they got a ton of really cool stuff over there. I definitely recommend checking it out. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. So, see ya.